What is up, everyone? Welcome to the FAA podcast. It's great football Monday. Doubleheader Monday Night Football about to get kicked off in Miami. About 7 minutes here, so keep track of that during the show. But let's talk about this weekend. Starting off on Friday, the first upset of the weekend. Virginia, big time, double overtime win over number 8 Florida State, 46-38. This one shocked me, almost everyone I know as well. Tommy Castellanos for the Noles, 56.3%, not very good. 254 yards, a touchdown. The turnovers were crazy in this one. 2 picks for Castellanos, 14 carries, 78 yards. Did get a rushing touchdown as well. Chandler Morris balled out, 74.3%, but just for 229 yards. 2 touchdowns, 3 picks, 8 carries for 37 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, so 5 total for Morris. A crazy night despite the 3 interceptions. Didn't end up costing them as they won in double OT. Jamari Taylor, he led the game in rushing, just short of 127 for 99 and a touchdown, 3 catches, 16 yards there. Leading the game in receiving, big-time night for wide receiver Deuce Robinson, 9 catches, 147 yards, and a touchdown. And how about 3 touchdowns for FSU's tight end Randy Pittman Jr., receiving, rushing, and passing. 2 catches, 16 yards, a touchdown, a 2-yard rushing touchdown, and a 4-yard passing touchdown as well. Crazy night for Pittman in the loss there. And defensively, I'm going the guy with had 2 interceptions. UVA defensive back Jason Prevard, 2 tackles, 1 solo, 1 pass defense, and 2 picks. UVA plus 6.5 wins outright over 60.5. Easily 84 in that game. Arizona State goes Sun Devils. Back-to-back Lone Wolf wins for me on ASU, 27-24 over number 24 TCU. It's not an upset based off the betting line. ASU was favored on the books, but it was an upset based off ranking. Sam Levitt completely balled, 69.2%, 291, 2 touchdowns, 13 carries, 62 yards, a touchdown on the ground, and a fumble. Josh Hoover struggled on the night, 62.5%, 242, 2 picks, rushing touchdown, and a fumble. Turnovers, very costly for the Horned Frogs in this one. Running back Raleek Brown, he led the game in rushing for ASU, 21 carries, 134, a touchdown, 9 catches for 50 yards. Leading the game in receiving, Arizona State wide receiver Jordan Tyson, massive game, 8 catches, 126, 2 scores. And defensively, how about the top guy there? 2 guys, actually, one on each side. Linebacker Caleb Elarms led the game in tackles for TCU, 13 tackles, 8 solos, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and a pass defense. But the guy at the bottom is a real player of the game. Arizona State defensive lineman Prince Dorba, 4 tackles, all of them solos, 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, and a fumble recovery. A ridiculous game on defense for Dorba in that one. And ASU looking pretty good there at 4-1. Houston, the last game on Friday. We didn't preview this one, but we did pick it, and ended up being a surprise of a close game. 27-24 comeback from the Cougars over the Beavers here in overtime. Connor Wegman struggled, 55.6%, 270, 2 touchdowns, a pick, and a rushing score for the Cougars QB. Malik Murphy for Oregon State, 60.6%, 201, and a score. Forgot to say ASU covered there, minus 2.5, under by the hook, under 54.5. Leading the game in rushing, Oregon State running back Cornell Hatcher Jr., 17 carries, 93 yards, touchdown, 2 catches for 6 yards. Big receiving night for Houston, wide receiver Amari Thomas, and Oregon State wide receiver Trent Walker, both over 100. Thomas 6 for 104, Walker 7 for 103, and defensively I'm going with the guy at the bottom, Oregon State defensive lineman Jacob Schuster, 3 tackles, 2 solos, 2 sacks, and 2 tackles for loss. Oregon State covered plus 11.5, over 48.5. On Saturday, number 16, Georgia Tech, 30. 30-29 in overtime. Haynes King for Tech, 66.7%, 243. Touchdown, 21 carries, 106, 2 touchdowns there on the ground. A massive rushing performance once again from Haynes King. Robbie Ashford, really shocking. It was not good passing, 46.4%, 219, but 10 carries, 82 yards, and a rushing touchdown there. Deshaun Purdy also played a little bit. The Charlotte transfer completed his 1 of 3 passes for 14 yards there. Running back Demond Claiborne, he had a big day for the Demon Deeks. 21 carries, 119, 2 touchdowns, including Wake's touchdown in OT. 2 catches for 9 yards there. Ultimately ended up getting hurt on that one. But this one was crazy. It came down to a 2-point conversion that the Yellow Jackets stopped, intercepted, and won the game. But a close one that I don't think many people, including myself, saw being close. We also did not preview this one on Friday either because of how big the spread was, but ended up being a very close game. Eric Rivers for Tech led the game in receiving, 8 for 77 and a touchdown. Defensively, I'm going with Georgia Tech defensive back Amari Harvey, 5 tackles, 4 solos, 2 tackles for loss, and 1 pass defensed. Wake Forest plus 11.5 covered, over 53.5. Top 25 matchup in Champaign, number 23 Illinois beating number 21 USC 34-32 in a close one. Jaden Mayava for USC, he was excellent, 69.8%, 364, 2 touchdowns, a pick. But Luke Altmaier was just as good for Illinois, 76.9%, 328, 2 touchdowns, 5 carries for 28 yards, a rushing touchdown. Oh, yeah, and he caught a 3-yard receiving touchdown as well on a Philly special touchdown there for the Illini. Running back Waymon Jordan, he led the game in rushing for SC, 20 carries, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns, a fumble, 2 catches for 12 yards. Big-time game for USC wide receiver Makai Lemon, 11 catches, 151, 2 scores there. And defensively, I got to go with Illinois linebacker Dylan Rosiek, 6 tackles, 3 solos, and a pick. Illinois plus 6.5. They went outright over 62.5. 66 in that one. Minnesota beating Rutgers 31-28. Yeah, I lone wolfed the Scarlet Knights. They had a chance. They had a lead early, 14-0, and couldn't get it done. But Drake Lindsay absolutely balled out for the Golden Gophers, 75.6%, 324, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers for Lindsay. Excellent performance for him. Ethan Kaliakmanis, again, I think this is why Rutgers is going to be in most of their games this year. 61.8%, 249, 2 touchdowns, a pick. Very experienced veteran. Was hoping he could get the win in his return to Minnesota. Antoine Raymond had a hell of a day for the Rutgers on the ground, 26 carries, 161, 2 touchdowns, and a 12-yard catch as well. Minnesota really couldn't run the ball. Fame Ijaboy, he led the game for Minnesota there, just 3.1 yards per carry. 100-yard effort for Minnesota wide receiver Jalen Smith, 4 catches, 103, and a touchdown. And defensively, a lot of good performances. I am going to go with the bottom guy there, Rutgers defensive lineman Bradley Weaver, 3 tackles, 2 solos, 2 sacks, and 2 tackles for loss. Rutgers plus 3.5. They cover by the hook, over 51.5. Louisville beating up on Pittsburgh, 34-27. Comeback effort here as well. Miller Moss, he was very solid, 64.7%, 339, 3 touchdowns, a pick, and a rushing score as well. Pitt quarterback Eli Holstein, I'm not sure if he got hurt or what. He was shaky, though, 53.8%, 228, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, 7 carries for 19 yards. Cole Gonzalez, the Western Carolina transfer, came in at the end of the game, could not complete the Pitt comeback there to tie the game. Just 3 of 6, 31 yards, and the game-ending interception. Louisville running back Duke Watson, he led the game in rushing. Minuscule effort for both sides on the ground. 14 carries, 47 yards, and a receiving touchdown, and 1 catch for 3 yards. Louisville wide receiver Chris Bell, he led the game in receiving. Big-time effort. He had 100 yards. Pitt wide receiver Kataris Hicks also over 100. Bell 10 for 135 and a score. Hicks 4 for 113 and a score. And defensively, how about Pitt linebacker Rasheem Biles led the game in tackles, 12 of them with 6 solos, a sack, 4 tackles for loss, 75-yard pick 6. Also got to give credit though for Louisville. TJ Quinn, he had 2 picks and a pass defense on his day. Louisville minus 3.5. They covered over 52.5. Cincinnati, an upset in Lawrence, Kansas, 37-34. Barn burner there in Kansas. Jalen Daniels, I mean, this was QB central here in this game. Jalen Daniels, 67.9%, 445, 4 touchdowns, 14 carries, 55 yards, and a fumble. Yeah, Jalen Daniels had 500 total yards of offense in this one, and they lost. That's ridiculous. Brendan Sorsby was excellent for the Bearcats, 67.4%, 388, 2 touchdowns, 13 carries, 52 yards himself, over 425 yards there for him. Evan Pryor led the game in rushing for the Bearcats, 6 carries, 90 yards. 2 touchdown day for his teammate Tawee Walker, including the game winner, put Cincinnati up 37-34. And how about the just ridiculous game for Kansas wide receiver Emmanuel Henderson Jr.? 5 catches, 214 yards, 2 touchdowns. And oh, by the way, he averaged 42.8 yards per reception. Just crazy. Cincinnati wide receiver Cyrus Allen, he also was over 100, 11 catches, 128, 2 touchdowns. Defensively, I'm going to go with Cincinnati defensive back Anton Peak Jr., 6 tackles, 4 solos, a sack, tackle for loss, and a pick. Since he covered plus 4.5, they went outright over 57.5. Number 13, Ole Miss upset in Oxford, Mississippi, over number 4 LSU, 24-19. Trinidad Chambliss was excellent, 59%, 314, a touchdown, a pick, 14 carries, 71 yards. I believe he's a sophomore quarterback. He was just fantastic, and this Ole Miss defense really lights out. LSU could not get anything going on offense with Garrett Nussmeier, and he also got banged up in this one also. 61.8% for Nussmeier, 197, a touchdown, and a pick. Ole Miss running back Kwan Lacey, he led the game in rushing, 23 carries, 87 yards, 3.8 yards per carry, though. LSU defense doing a good job on him. 1 touchdown, 3 catches for 21 yards. Ole Miss wide receiver Caden Lee led the game in receiving, caught 4 for 70, a touchdown, and a fumble. And defensively, I am going to go with LSU safety Tamarcus Cooley, 6 tackles, 2 solos, 1.5 tackles for loss, and a pass defensed. Ole Miss minus 3.5. They covered under 58.5. Easily. Number 9, Texas A&M, 16-10 over Auburn in College Station. This was not quite the barn burner we saw in Lawrence. But Marcel Reed, 68.2% for A&M, 207, a pick. Jackson Arnold for the Tigers, 54.5%, 125, 15 carries, 11 yards, and a score. A&M running back Le'Veon Moss, he had a big game. Really the only guy to have a big game on offense. 21 carries, 139, and a touchdown. Lead the game in rushing. Texas A&M wide receiver Casey Concepcion, the NC State transfer, he led the game in receiving, caught 7 for 113. And defensively, how about Auburn linebacker Xavier Atkins, 10 tackles, 6 solos, 1 sack, 2 tackles loss, and a pick. And Dolphins on the board first, 47-yard field goal from kicker. I believe that's Riley Patterson that kicked for them tonight with Jason Sanders still on IR. Auburn plus 6.5. They covered by the hook under 51.5 easily, just 26 in that one. Also, low scoring game in Iowa City, number 11 Indiana, squeaking one out 20-15 over Iowa. Fernando Mendoza, not the offensive output that we've seen from the Hoosiers most of the season so far, 56.5%, 233, 2 touchdowns, a pick, 8 carries for 26 yards. Mark Gronowski, I'm not sure if he got hurt. I would have to believe he did because Hank Brown threw 13 passes. 76% for Gronowski, though, 144, a pick, and a rushing touchdown. Hank Brown, 38.5%, 48 yards, and a pick. Not very good. Indiana running back Roman Hemby led the game in rushing, 15 carries, 86 yards, 1 catch for 5 yards as well. Indiana wide receiver Elijah Surratt, big-time game for him, 6 for 132 and a score. And defensively, let's go to the top guy, Iowa defensive back Cohen Entringer, 10 tackles, 7 solos, 2 tackles for loss. Iowa plus 8.5 covered, under 47.5, easily 35 in that one. And this one was the opposite. Number 15, Tennessee, a ridiculous overtime win, 41-34 over Mississippi State. In Starkville, this thing was crazy. Tennessee was down, and they had to come back to even tie it and then get the win in OT. Joey Aguilar, 60%, 335, a touchdown, 2 picks, 7 carries for 21 yards, and a rushing score as well. Blake Shapen, tough night, 62.1%, 180, a touchdown, and a pick, and a fumble, so 2 turnovers for him. He got a lot of help from the ground game, though. Bulldogs running back Fluff Bothwell, the South Alabama transfer, excellent. 23 carries, 134, 2 touchdowns, and a 2-yard catch as well. Tennessee wide receiver Mike Matthews up over 100, as was his teammate Chris Brazel the second. Matthews 6 for 118. Brazel 6 for 105 and a touchdown. Whole host of defensive performances. Tennessee got 2 defensive touchdowns in this game, and they still only won by 7. Defensive lineman Joshua Josephs, 9 tackles, 3 solos, 1.5 tackles for loss, 41-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Defensive back Colton Hood, 6 tackles, 4 solos, 2 tackles for loss, 23-yard pick 6. Mississippi State covered by the hook, plus 7.5 in overtime, over 63.5, easily 75 points in that one. Yeah, I want to skip the next 2 games. Number 6, Oregon, 30-24 over number 3, Penn State in double overtime. I mean, when is it going to end, James Franklin? I mean, it's been quite long enough that you have lost to these big time games. I mean, I don't know. I don't know when it's going to end, because this was the year to do it and you didn't. And now you got to beat Ohio State in the shoe in a couple weeks to even have a chance. To have something on your resume that looks really good, unless you're blowing people out left and right the rest of the way and you go 10-2. I just don't know. But I think this is still a very, very good team. And I think that was shown in how the AP voters moved Penn State, right? They only moved them down to 7. Okay, so I think that still signals, at least to the AP, obviously it's not the CFP yet, but at least to the AP voters, that this is still a team that's capable and one of the top 12 teams in the country, which I believe it is too. So we will see in the coming weeks. But anyways, tough loss once again in big-time games. First loss in the whiteout in quite a while. Oregon QB Dante Moore, he was just fantastic. I mean, I did not see the freshman being this good in that atmosphere. 74.4%, 248, 3 touchdowns, 10 carries for 35 yards. Drew Aller was not good. I mean, 56%, 137, 2 touchdowns, a pick that sealed the game. Was right to Dylan Tiedemann. I mean, I don't know where you're throwing the ball, Brud, but yeah, 9 carries, 42 yards, good rushing night for Aller there. Oregon running back De'Ara Hill Jr., he led the game in rushing, 10 carries, 82 yards, 2 catches for 12 yards, and a receiving touchdown. Oregon wide receiver Corian Moore, he led the game in receiving, caught 7 for 89. 2-touchdown day for Penn State wide receiver Devontae Ross. He was their leading receiver, caught 4 for 48 and 2 scores. Defensively, it's got the bottom. Oregon linebacker Mateo Uiagalelei, 4 tackles, all of them solos, 1 sack, 2 tackle swaps, and a pass defensed. Oregon plus 4.5 wins outright over 52.5. Number 17, Alabama, 24-21 over number 5, Georgia. Ty Simpson was excellent, 63.2%, 276, 2 touchdowns, 4 carries for 12 yards, and a rushing touchdown, 3 total on the night for Simpson. Gunnar Stockton, I mean, it was tough. I don't know what else to say. 65%, 130, a touchdown, 5 carries, 22 yards. The first loss at home in 32 games is a tough one to swallow there. And I was at the last one in 2019 when Rodrigo Blankenship missed the chip shot in to lose to South Carolina. I mean, that was a very difficult one to swallow there. But yeah, so was this. I mean, Georgia shut Alabama out in the second half and was only able to score a touchdown to get close, but not enough there at the end. Chauncey Bowens, he had a breakout night, though. I will say that. I was very impressed with Bowens. So 12 carries, 119, touchdown, 4 catches for 22 yards there. Really solid night for Chauncey Bowens. Isaiah Horton led the game in receiving for Alabama, 5 for 65 and a touchdown. And defensively, there wasn't a lot of stats, but so I'm going to go with UGA linebacker Chris Cole, 5 tackles, 3 solos, a sack, 1 tackle for loss. Bama plus 2.5 wins outright under 52.5. Number 25, BYU, 24-21 over Colorado. This was a late night game there, and it was an interesting one. Bear Bachmeier, 70.4%, 179, 2 touchdowns, 15 carries for 98 yards. Excellent production there for Bachmeier. Caden Salter struggled, 68.8%, 119, a touchdown and a pick. 17 carries, 49 yards, and a rushing touchdown. Michael Welch, he led the game, or actually Joseph Williams led the game in rushing because Bear Bachmeier led the game in rushing there. So 5 for 56 for the Colorado wide receiver. Jets in the red zone. Big time third down here for the Dolphins defense. Tried to hold this thing to 3. 2 touchdown day for Colorado wide receiver Draylon Miller. 2 catches to 27 yards, touchdown, 8 carries, 52 yards, and a rushing touchdown as well. And defensively, I'm going to go with BYU linebacker Jack Kelly, 6 tackles, all of them solos, sacked, 2 tackles for loss. Colorado covered plus 6.5, under 48.5. FCS game of the week, number 5 Montana, the Grizz getting it done at home, 41-30 over number 8 Idaho. Wow, Jets running it on 3rd and 5 and getting it. That's wild. That's ridiculous. Joshua Wood for Idaho, the Vandals, just 50%, 262, 10 carries, 32 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, though. Big time running attack for him. Kialai Ayat, great performance, 73.9%, 223, a touchdown, 7 carries for 17 yards, and a rushing score as well. Montana leaned on the running game like the Jets are doing right now. 10 plays, 75 yards, 6.5 minutes killed off the clock, and they are just running it right down the Dolphins' throats. Got to stop the run here, Finns, if you want to get off the field. 1st and 10 at the 11 for the Jets, down 3-0. Gilman, though, 27 carries, 142, 2 touchdowns, 1 catch for 17 yards. Delay a game for the Jets, moving back to the 16-yard line, 1st and 15. Idaho wide receiver Ryan DeZoro, 100-yard game for him, 4 for 102. And defensively, or 2 touchdown day, I should say, for Montana wide receiver Michael Wortham, 5 catches, 55 yards, touchdown, 6 carries, 19 yards, and a rushing score as well. And just 1 defensive player to speak of, Montana safety Cade Boyd with a fumble recovery. Montana covered -7.5, over 55.5, 71 in that game. On to the NFL in Dublin. Steelers getting it done, 24-21 over the Vikings. An excellent performance for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I was very surprised. Carson Wentz, he threw it a lot, 46 times. Was not expecting that, 65.2%. But they were down. They were down 24 to 6 or 21-6. And they had to throw it. And wow, the Jets just getting bailed out by a hands to the face penalty from Jalen Phillips there. So 1st and goal, I believe it's going to be for the Jets here. Carson Wentz, though, 65.2%, 350, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, 2 carries for 12 yards. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he was almost perfect, 81.8%, 200 and a touchdown. This was the Kenneth Gainwell game, 19 carries, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 catches, caught all 6 of his targets for 35 yards. Just a great performance, filling in for Jaylen Warren, who was out with an injury. Justin Jefferson went over 100. He actually tied DK Metcalf with the lead in receiving. Jefferson, though, caught 10 of his 11 targets for 126. Metcalf caught all 5 of his targets for 126 and an 80-yard touchdown. Defensively, I mean, take your pick. I mean, the Steelers' defense was just lights out all day. All day. I think TJ Watt, it looks like he's back to his old self. 5 tackles, 3 solos, a sack, tackle for loss, pass defense, 2 QB hits, and a pick. Wow, what a stop from Miami. They stripped Braylon Allen before he went toward the goal line. Dolphins, big-time stop in the red zone. Let's go, Finns. Hell yeah. So I got the orange on my screen here for Broncos and Dolphins tonight. Great stop for that Miami defense. Steelers, though, plus 2.5. They went outright over 41.5. I told y'all to not doubt the Rooneys in their homeland. Eagles are undefeated, 31-25 over the Bucks. Baker Mayfield just 55%, 289, 2 touchdowns, a pick, 2 carries for 13 yards. Yeah, Baker, the pick was very costly. I mean, that would have gave the Bucks the lead. But yeah, I don't know what Baker was doing. Throw the ball away, man. I mean, it's that simple. It really was. Yeah, I was kind of rooting against the Eagles because I had the Bucks at plus 650 to go 4-0. I lost both of mine on the 49ers and the Bucks. So that was fantastic. But yeah, Jalen Hurts, 62.5%, just 130, 2 touchdowns, 9 carries, 62 yards. They had 0 passing yards in the second half. I don't know how this is going to be sustained. I mean, this is what everyone's talking about, right? Like the Eagles won. Yeah, they're 20-1 in their last 21 games. So they find ways to win. It's tough to watch sometimes when you have 0 passing yards. And A.J. Brown, after what everyone thought was a breakout performance last week, was a one-off. He was not involved once again, really, in this game. And the cryptic tweet that he sent out afterward, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with A.J. Brown. I don't know what's going on with this offense. They need to get something figured out because Saquon Barkley is not finding lanes like he was last year. Just 2.3 yards per carry in this one, 74 total yards there. But, yeah, it's rough in Philly. They're winning, but it's ugly. Bucky Irving, hell of a day for him. Led the game in rushing, 15 carries, 63 yards, a fumble, caught off 5 of his targets, 102 yards and a touchdown, including a 77-yard touchdown reception. Bucks rookie wide receiver Emeka Egbuka continues to ball out, caught just 4 of his 10 targets, though, not great. Did have 101 yards and a touchdown. That was a 70-yard touchdown there for him. 2-touchdown day for tight end Dallas Goedert, caught all 4 of his targets, 37 yards and 2 scores there. Chris Godwin, first game back, caught just 3 of his 10 targets, though, for 26 yards there. Defensively, how about the game for Eagles corner Quinyon Mitchell? 5 tackles, 4 solos, 5 passes defense. Crazy good in the secondary, knocking those balls away. Eagles minus 3.5, covered over 43.5. Patriots just dismantling the Panthers. The week after they dismantled the Falcons 30-0, they lose 42-13 in Foxborough. Drake May was excellent, 82.4%, 203, 2 touchdowns, 3 carries for 11 yards, and a rushing score as well. Bryce Young struggled. They went down the field, scored a touchdown on the opening drive, missed the extra point. It was 6-0, and then they didn't score again until the last touchdown of the game. Young, though, 60%, 150, a touchdown. Andy Dalton ended up coming in once the game was away, 83.3%, 5 of 6, 58 yards, and a touchdown. Chuba Hubbard led the game in rushing. It was a tough day for him, 10 carries, 49 yards, 3 catches for 20 yards there. Patriots couldn't run the ball. That was one thing that I think the Panthers can take away from this game is that they were able to stop the run effectively. Ramondre Stevenson led them with just 38 yards. Stephon Diggs looked like his old self for the first time since he tore his ACL last year. Caught 6 of his 7 targets, up over 100 for 101 yards there. And defensively, it's the guy that had the special teams touchdown. Patriots corner Marcus Jones, 5 tackles, 3 solos, 87-yard punt return for a touchdown. One of 3 punt return touchdowns on the weekend. Patriots minus 3 covered quite easily, over 42.5, almost by themselves. Giants upsetting the Chargers at MetLife, 28-18. Yeah, I did not see this one coming. I was very confident that the Chargers could beat a rookie quarterback, even all the way across the country. I was very wrong. Justin Herbert struggled 56.1%, 203, a touchdown, 2 picks, 24-yard carry for him. Jackson Dart, first start of his NFL career. Okay, a lot of people are blowing this out of proportion. I don't think he was as good as everyone thought he played. 65%, 111, touchdown, 10 carries, 54 yards, a rushing touchdown as well. The ground, the legs were very good. It was just the passing attack needs more, and it's going to be even tougher now with Malik Neighbors out. Who steps up? I don't know. But, yeah, there's a lot to improve, I think. This was a defensively fueled win here for New York. Omarion Hampton, rookie running backs dueling here. Hampton versus Scadaboo. Hampton up over 100, first 100-yard performance of his career. 12 carries, 128 yards, a touchdown. Caught 5 of 7 targets for 37 yards. Big-time holding penalty here for the Dolphins. They had a great gainer for Achane and taken back there by the right tackle, I believe, or left tackle. Yeah, that was a tough one. Chargers wide receiver Quentin Johnston led the game in receiving, caught 8 of his 13 targets, 98 yards, and a touchdown. He's been a monster so far this season. And I know they lost, but holy shit. How about the day for Chargers linebacker Tuli Tuipulotu? 10 tackles, 7 solos, 4 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, 5 QB hits. Just ridiculous performance. I got to say, though, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, those boys balled out. On the other side, the rookie Carter, 5 QB hits himself on the day. Giants plus 5.5 went outright under 43.5. Texans shutting out the Titans 26-0. CJ Stroud, really solid performance for him. 78.6%, 233, 2 touchdowns, 4 carries for 11 yards. Cam Ward severely struggling against this Texans defense. 38.5%, 108, a pick, 2 carries for 22 yards. The rookie Woody Marks, who the Texans traded up in the 4th round to get 17 carries, 69 yards, led the game in rushing. Did score 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 receiving, caught 4 of his 5 targets, 50 yards, and that receiving touchdown. Nico Collins led the game in receiving for the Texans, caught 4 of his 6 targets, 79 yards. Defensively, great performance for Houston. Defensive end Daniil Hunter, 4 tackles, 3 solos, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 3 QB hits. Jeffrey Simmons, great game in his own right. And how about Ced Gray for the Titans? 17 tackles, 10 of them solos. Texans minus 7.5 covered, under 39.5. Told you people, Texans unders. Keep betting them. Falcons 34-27 over the Commanders. Great bounce back performance for Atlanta and great win for me on the Lone Wolf. I told y'all Falcons were going to win, and they did at home at Mercedes-Benz. Michael Penix was excellent, 76.9%, 313, 2 touchdowns, a pick. Marcus Mariota, not as good as last week against the Raiders, struggled in this one against this Falcons defense. I was surprised despite A.J. Terrell being out, 59.3%, 156, 2 touchdowns, a pick, 2 carries for 20 yards. Raheem Morris really scheming it up well for this Atlanta defense. Bijan Robinson, career day for him, 181 total yards, 17 carries, 75 yards, led the game in rushing, touchdown, caught 4 of his 5 targets, 106 yards, second 100-yard receiving performance of the year so far for Bijan. Drake London, he led the game in receiving, caught 8 of his 10 targets, 110 and a touchdown, big time game for him. And defensively, it's the 2 matching stat lines there. Falcons linebacker Caden Ellis and defensive end Leonard Floyd. Ellis 5 tackles, 3 solos. Floyd 4 tackles, 1 solo. The H had a half sack, 1 tackle for loss, 2 QB hits. Falcons minus 2.5 covered, over 44.5, easily 61 in that one. Bills 31-19 over the Saints, closer than many people thought, including me. Josh Allen was really balling out, though, 72.7%, 209, 2 touchdowns, a pick, 7 carries, 45 yards, a rushing touchdown as well. Spencer Rattler, I was surprised, man. The Saints kept this thing close most of the day, 66.7% for Rattler, 126, a touchdown, 6 carries for 49 yards. James Cook, another great performance for him, up over 100 rushing yards, 22 carries, 117, a touchdown, 3 catches for 18 yards. Bills wide receiver Khalil Shakir, he led the game in receiving, caught all 5 of his targets, 69 yards, and a touchdown. And defensively, I am going to go with Saints defensive end Carl Granderson, 5 tackles, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, and a QB hit. Actually, yeah. I mean, Granderson, Sanker, Jordan all had great games for the Saints defensively. Saints plus 14.5. They covered, over 48.5. 50. Lions 34-10, a blowout in Detroit over the Browns. Joe Flacco, 47.1%, 184, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, and a fumble. Tough day for Flacco. Turnover central for him. Lions QB Jared Goff, 59.3%. It was not a great day for Goff. 168, 2 touchdowns, a pick, but he got a lot of help from Jahmyr Gibbs. Led the game in rushing, 15 carries, 91 yards, touchdown, 2 catches for 6 yards there. Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown led the game in receiving, caught all 7 of his targets, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. And how about Lions wide receiver Khalif Raymond, special teams touchdown, caught 2 of his 3 targets, 13 yards on offense, 65-yard punt return for a touchdown. And defensively, dude, Aiden Hutchinson balling out. Lions defensive end, 4 tackles, 3 solos, 2 sacks, 2 tackles lost, 4 QB hits. Lions covered minus 10.5, under 44.5 by the hook. That's rough. Jags upset in Santa Clara, 26-21 over the 49ers. Brock Purdy, I mean, he was really good, even in the loss. The turnovers, though, just costly all day. San Fran had 4 total on the day, 57.9%, 309, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, 2 carries for 13 yards, and a fumble, costly one there at the end. Trevor Lawrence, 67.7%, 174, and a touchdown. Once again, Trevor got a lot of help from Travis Etienne. 19 carries, 124 yards, touchdown, and a 1-yard reception. Christian McCaffrey continues to just absolutely ball out in PPR formats. 17 carries, 49 yards, just 2.9 yards per carry. But how about the receiving numbers? 11 targets, caught 6 for 92 and a touchdown, led the game in receiving. Pissed, though. I needed 1 yard to get him 50 and 50 to cash one of the Elias props on Bet365. Wide open Jalen Waddle. What a 3rd down and 10 conversion for Tua Tagovailoa, who is completely wrecking right now. This passing game is beaten up on this Jets secondary. That has been, unreliable this year so far. Has gotten passed on a lot. Parker Washington for the Jags, the game-winning touchdown. 2 targets, didn't have any catches on offense, but 87-yard punt return touchdown there. And defensively, I'm going with Jags linebacker Devin Lloyd, 8 tackles, 6 solos, tackle for loss, 2 pass defense, and 2 picks. Jags plus 3.5 went outright over 46.5 by the hook. Rams 27-20 over the Colts in a comeback. Matthew Stafford, he was balling out, 70.7%, 375, 3 touchdowns. Daniel Jones struggled. He was efficient, though, 72.7%, 262 a touchdown, but threw 2 picks, costly for him. Rams running back Kyron Williams led the game in rushing, 13 carries, 77 yards. Did have a fumble and 3 catches for 17 yards. Puka Nacua, just a ridiculous day for him. Caught 13 of his 15 targets, 170 and a touchdown. And how about Tutu Atwell, the game winner? 2 targets. He caught one of them for an 88-yard touchdown. 10-target day for Colts wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. Caught 5 for 41 and a score. And defensively, a lot of good performances. I'm going to go with Ram safety Cam Curl, though. 9 tackles, 3 solos, 3 pass defense, 2 picks. Rams minus 3.5 covered, under 49.5 by Justin. Dolphins, great drive, 11 plays, 90 yards, 7 minutes off the clock. Great drive here, 1st and goal, 11 minutes to go in the second. Chiefs, 37-20, blowout over the Ravens in Kansas City. Guess who lone wolf the Chiefs? This guy. Patrick Mahomes, great game. 67.6%, 270, 4 touchdown passes for Mahomes in this one. This is the type of offense that I thought would get Mahomes an MVP. That's why I picked them in the preseason. They have since back-to-back wins now. They look themselves with Xavier Worthy back in the fold. They're getting Rashee Rice back soon as well. So, I don't know. I think Kansas City might go on a run here. Lamar Jackson, 70%, 147, a touchdown, a pick, 6 carries, 48 yards, and a fumble. Tough day against this KC defense, 2 turnovers for him. Cooper Rush came in for injured Lamar, 69.2%, 52 yards there. Ravens running back Justice Hill led the game in rushing because of a long touchdown right at the end. 3 carries, 76 yards, a touchdown. Caught 5 of 6 targets for 41 yards and a receiving touchdown. Xavier Worthy, like I said, led the game in receiving. Caught 5 of his 8 targets, 83 yards, 2 carries for 38 yards there, so 100-yard scrimmage performance for him. And defensively, big-time day for Chiefs defensive end George Karlaftis. 2 tackles, both of them solos. Sack, tackle for loss, 4 QB hits. Chiefs plus 2.5 went outright over 49.5. 57. Bears, what a comeback and what a walk-off. 25-24 over the Raiders. And the Jets have gotten off the field again. 4th and goal. a pass deflection by Jamie and Sherwood on what I think would have been a touchdown to Jalen Waddle. Oh, man. Tua had a wide open receiver there. Looked like Malik Washington would have been wide open over the middle there. But it looks like Dolphins are going to settle for 3 again. Are they going to go for it? 4th and goal here. Yes, they are. All right. Well, I'll wait to see here. Wow, Darren Waller. What a touchdown. The first touchdown of the game goes to Darren Waller. Who would have seen that coming? I know I did not. So that sucks. But, yeah, Dolphins up. Looks like trying to go 10-0 here on the extra point. What a catch for Darren Waller. 1, 2. That is a touchdown. Ball does not move. Caleb Williams in a comeback effort, 59.5%, 212 touchdown, a pick, 8 carries, 13 yards there. Geno Smith, second 3-interception game for him of the season, 66.7%, 117, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks, 4 carries for 31 yards. Ashton Jeanty, this was the game we all thought was going to happen, right? Finally, Ashton Jeanty breaks out, although the Raiders lose. 21 carries, 138, a touchdown, a fumble, 2 catches, 17 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns on his 2 catches there. So 3 touchdowns for Jeanty. Breakout performance. Hopefully he can sustain it there. Tough rushing day for the Bears. DeAndre Swift led them in rushing, just 2.7 yards per carry, though. Rome Odunze, he led the game in receiving for Chicago, caught 4 of his 8 targets, 69 yards, and a touchdown. And defensively, these boys were balling on Chicago. Kevin Byard, the third, Tyreek Stevenson. I'm going with Byard, though. 7 tackles, 5 solos, tackle for loss, 2 pass defense, 2 picks for Byard. Max Crosby also balled out. I mean, all 3 of those guys at the bottom deserve credit there. Bears plus 2.5 win outright over 46.5. Sunday Night Football, we had a tie. Packers 40, Cowboys 40 in overtime. I mean, all right, this was the dumbest game I've ever watched. The Packers should have absolutely dominated this, and they did early. They very much did. The key turning point, Cowboys blocked an extra point, returned it for 2 points, and that was when Dallas woke up. I mean, it was just stupid mistakes every time. Jordan Love gets strip sacked right before halftime. Cowboys score a touchdown, and it's just stupid stuff like that. And it's play calling as well. Matt LaFleur, I mean, that was the most conservative, I'll not use the words that I used in our group chat, but conservative play calling that I've ever seen. And at the end of the game, I mean, the Packers were rolling right down the field at the end of the game, but they took too much time. They're running on a Sunday stroll there, and they almost ran out of time. They got lucky that Jordan Love's pass hit the back of a Cowboys defender and dropped right to the ground. Otherwise, they do not have a second left, and they do not tie this game on a Brandon McManus field goal. So the Packers got very lucky to even get out of Dallas with a tie. They should have won it in regulation. They couldn't stop the Cowboys offensively, though. So it was just ridiculous from the Packers. And, I'm hoping that all the Packers fans out there finally slow your roll here, because that did not look like a Super Bowl team at all. You're against a Cowboys team that doesn't have CeeDee Lamb, okay? I'm just saying. And, yeah, it was not good. Jordan Love, 72.1%, 337, 3 touchdowns, 3 carries, 28 yards, and a fumble. Dak Prescott, he was just lights out, 77.5%, 319, 3 touchdowns, and a rushing score. Josh Jacobs, he led the game in rushing, 22 carries, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 catches for 71 yards. Great game for him. How about George Pickens? Balling, caught 8 of 11 targets, 134 and 2 scores there for him. 3 touchdown day for Packers wide receiver Romeo Doubs. Caught 6 of 8 targets, 58 yards, 3 touchdowns. And defensively, I'm going to go with Cowboys defense tackle Osa Adikizuwa. 6 tackles, 3 solos, tackle for loss, 2 QB hits. Micah Parsons, of course, sacked, 3 QB hits as well. Cowboys plus 6.5 covered over 46.5, 80 points in that game. Ridiculous. College football news. Oklahoma State short list of candidates to replace the fired Mike Gundy. They are looking at potentially hiring Falcons offensive coordinator Zach Robinson, one of the best QBs that Oklahoma State had during Mike Gundy's 20 plus years there. Potentially the next head coach of the Cowboys there. Arkansas, we have our third head coach opening this season. Virginia Tech, Oklahoma State, and UCLA. I should say fourth, yeah, UCLA as well. Now Arkansas has fired head coach Sam Pittman, offensive coordinator, former Arkansas head coach Bobby Petrino will be the interim head coach the remaining of the year. Petrino has already started making moves. I'm surprised he has this much leeway as an interim head coach, but I guess because of his prior experience with the Razorbacks there. Firing defensive coordinator Travis Williams, Houston Roughnecks of the UFL defensive coordinator Chris Wilson promoted to interim defensive coordinator. We had a trade go down today. The Browns getting the offensive line help that they need, acquiring offensive tackle Cam Robinson along with a 2027 7th-round pick from the Houston Texans for a 2027 6th-round pick. Low-level deal there. Cam Robinson inactive for the Texans this week. But, Robinson likely going to be a starter here for Cleveland shortly. General news here. Teams are eyeing Seahawks corner Reek Woolen as a potential trade candidate as the trade deadline coming up at the end of October, early November there. So make sure to keep your eyes out on Reek Woolen potentially on the move from Seattle. I wish I could get John's thoughts on that one, but we'll see if I talk to him about it. We have a flex this week, the 49ers-Bucks game. That is moving to 4:25. And the Patriots-Saints game, that's going to move up to 1 p.m. IR moves the Ravens, placing defensive tackle Nnamdi Madubuike on IR, and it was announced today that he is out for the year. That neck injury that he sustained a couple weeks ago, he is done for the year. Giants kicker Graham Gano also placed on IR today. Practice window is being opened, so we are going into week 5, so that means there's some hope for some guys and teams because IR players can start coming back now. Texans opening the practice windows for defensive end Danico Autry and rookie safety Jalen Reed. Titans opening the window for running back Tajay Spears. And the Cardinals opening defensive lineman Bilal Nichols practice window dealing with a neck injury from last October. Injuries, Giants. I mentioned this earlier. Wide receiver Malik Neighbors, he is done for the year, torn ACL. So big-time loss for that Giants offense. I just traded for him. Luckily, it's a free 3-keeper league, so I'll be able to keep him next year. Ravens, QB Lamar Jackson. He has a hamstring injury up in the air, though, potentially to play this week. They're hosting the Texans this week. Chargers, left tackle Joe Alt, high ankle sprain. He's out multiple weeks. Eagles, edge rusher Ogbo Okoronkwo may be out for the season. Torn triceps there. Tricep injuries prevalent there for Philly. Big hit to their pass rush depth as Nolan Smith's already on IR. Lions, corner depth hit here. DJ Reed, hamstring injury. Tyrion Arnold, shoulder injury. Both likely out this week, I would think. Falcons, wide receiver Darnell Mooney, hamstring injury. That man just can't catch a break. He just got back from a shoulder injury. Now he's a hamstring. Falcons with a bye here coming up soon. Raiders, left tackle Colton Miller, high ankle sprain. He is out multiple weeks. Bills punter Cameron Johnston, he's going to be out sometime. Lower leg injury there. Browns wide receiver Ced Tillman, he is out multiple weeks, hamstring injury. Ravens, they got hit very hard in that Chiefs game with injuries, especially defensively. Corner Marlon Humphrey, he is out a couple weeks with a calf injury. Linebacker Roquan Smith out a few weeks with a grade 2 hamstring strain. Ronnie Stanley also banged up in that one as well. Saints offensive lineman Cesar Ruiz, he is out 4 to 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain as well. Ins and outs for just one to mention for this Jets-Dolphins game here. They are without edge rusher Jermaine Johnson II tonight. All right, pick standings. Jimmy and I left at the top, 1-1. We all lost last week on the Ravens on the Monday night game against the Lions. But Danny lone wolfed the Cardinals on Thursday, so he has since dropped down to Logan and John's level at 6-2. Jimmy and I still rolling at 7-1 up top, though. Game going on right now, Jets at the Dolphins. It is a split, and only one of us will be left standing unless they tie like the Cowboys and Packers last night. Logan, Jimmy, and Danny, they are on the Jets. John and I are on the Dolphins, and John and I are right so far. 10-0 lead for the Miami. Looking pretty good, John. We are looking good. Total is 44.5 here, and the under is also looking very good. I know there's 10 points, and that's almost a quarter of the points you need at 11, but 11.25 technically. But I think that the length of these drives that have been happening will really help the under here at 44.5. Especially if the Dolphins could get off the field here, but it doesn't look like they will. Mason Taylor, I believe that was, catching a first down pass, third down conversion there. Yeah. But yeah, I still like the under, though. I think that's it's a good play. And yep, they did get there. Currently going on ESPN. And the second game is about to kick off here soon. Yeah, this is scary. We did not do well in this week in the NFL in Clayton sweep games. We all lost on the Bucks. We all lost on the Chargers. And we all tied on the Packers last night. We did get 3 wins, though, sweeping the board: the Patriots, the Bills, and the Lions. So I guess. But this year, clean sweeps, we are 4-1. So I guess we'll see. But we're all on the Broncos. I don't think it's going to be close at all. I know it's scary, but it's in Denver. And this Bengals defense is not that good. The Bengals offense got wrecked last week. I don't think they're going to be able to block this Broncos defense. So give me Denver minus 7.5. Total's 44.5. I lean on the over just because I think the Broncos are going to be able to score some points on this Bengals defense and maybe even score defensively as well. 8:15 p.m., 10 minutes to go on that one, ABC. And Thursday, this is a clean sweep as well. Logan sent in his pick a little bit late, but he is on the Rams just like everyone else, and this is scary hours. But the 49ers potentially will not have Brock Purdy as he re-aggravated his toe injury this week. So this has actually ballooned. I have the old the spread that was earlier today before the Purdy news. I believe it's at the 5.5 now at most books. So big-time favorites here for LA at home. Short week. But, yeah, I think the Rams are just going to be too tough on a short week there, and especially if Purdy doesn't play. I mean, Mac Jones played pretty well in his 2 starts, went 2-0. But the Rams are a lot better team than the teams he played. So total's 47.5 here. It's a divisional matchup. So I'm going to go with the under, I think. Maybe 2 good defenses. We'll see. 8:15 p.m. prime video. That is the show for today. Yeah, I forgot to switch these out here. Next week, be talking NFL Week 5 capper. That is the Chiefs at the Jags, and the Week 6 opener, NFC East battle. Eagles at the Giants. Jackson Dart's first look at the Philadelphia Eagles. So 2 solid games there on Monday and Thursday to end Week 5. Open Week 6. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media at FAA Podcast, Instagram and X, FAA_bets on X as well. FAApodcast.com is our website. Check us out here on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and TikTok at FAA.podcast. And we will see y'all back on Friday.